everybody, and thank you for checking out this special edition of the Rotunda Show. I'm Paul Eldred. I'm standing in front of the home of Deborah Kelly, the house where the First Avenue tragedies took place. I'll be taking you through a timeline of events of how this story has progressed.
Thursday night, apparently Melanie Wells' mother, who is in West Virginia, called the Farmville police and said, "Listen, my daughter's missing. Can you please go to this address and check on her for me?" And apparently they went to the house. McCroskey actually answered the door and said, "She's at the movies." Friday morning, about an hour later, he called the police again, said, you know, there's a noise complaint, or there's a noise in the basement. Can you please come check it out? They come back to the house, actually enter the house, and according to Wade Stimson, in a separate part of the house, they entered into the basement, didn't find anything suspicious, and left. 3 hours later, McCroskey steals Mark Niederbrock's car, wrecks it, and the police come and give him a ticket for driving without a license, and his car has to be towed. All three of these are, you know, within the area of the house. On the cab ride from the Huddle House here to Richmond International Airport, the cab was actually pulled over for speeding, so that was 4 times before arrest that he was encountered by the police.
That Friday morning, on September the 18th, the Farmville Police Department contacted Longwood University Campus Police.
In the initial investigation, when the town of Farmville got to the house on First Avenue and realized that there was a potential for something to be wrong there, they reached out to the university because the car and the house being the property of Dr. Kelly. So they called us and reached out to us trying to locate Dr. Kelly. And we did some footwork to try to do that and determined that she was not here.
The police then searched and found 4 bodies at the house of 505 First Avenue. University officials then held a meeting to determine if the emergency alert system should be activated.
A situation like this, we pull together an incident management team, which is usually comprised of, if there's any sort of a crime involved, the chief of police, the president, and then select cabinet members. So those people were called together. When we have a situation like this, we assess what information we have and we try to determine, is this an emergency situation? Our communication protocol calls for us to effectuate that system only when there is an imminent and verifiable threat to the campus community. Again, going back to the timeline, the police told us Friday evening there is no imminent or verifiable threat to the campus community. Now, at that time, of course, they knew a lot more than we knew.
Late Friday night, an email was sent out from the university.
We needed to put something out to the campus. We wanted them to make them aware of that there was an incident here. It's being investigated by Farmville Police Department and the state police. And at that time, actually the memo that I had written with Dennis Circum and our chief of police said that we made a comment there that there was no threat at that time. So to kind of drop people's anxieties. So that message was carefully crafted at that time, I think, number one, to let students know at least some of the things that we had.
Saturday, the 19th, the suspect was arrested at Richmond International Airport.
About 11:15, one of our officers spotted a person that appeared to match the description. The person was seated in a chair in a public area of the airport, in the baggage claim area. He's by himself, and if not asleep, at least dozing off. This is about 11:15. The officer asked for backup, made radio contact with his supervisor, and about 11:25, the officers approached the individual, asked him his name, and the person answered truthfully, and also provided ID that he was, in fact, the person that we'd been looking for. He was described as cooperative by our police department.
That Monday, the 21st, McCroskey is arraigned, and his hearing is scheduled for January 11th, 2010. The court appoints Kerry Bowen as his attorney. On campus, Longwood's counseling services began reaching out to students.
We spent a fair amount of time Monday throughout the day going to various classes that had Dr. Kelly within the major, or maybe she served as an advisor. So we really go into the classrooms first and just really increase students' awareness about our services here in the counseling center, so that maybe, you know, in the following days or the following weeks, they would reach out to us.
Students share their feelings of the loss of their professor, advisor, and friend.
I'm a fifth-year senior here now, and I've known her since 2005 when I came in here as a freshman, and she took like a special interest to me, I guess. There was like a period a couple years ago, or like 3 years ago, where I was like having a difficult period in my life, and she also kind of served as a mentor to me. So I don't think I would have gotten this far, like to where I am today, without her help. So, you know, this has had a huge impact on me, and like, you know, I think the Longwood community and, you know, Farmville community too is a big loss.
Tuesday the 22nd, authorities hold a press conference.
Victims have been identified as Deborah Sue Kelly, age 53, of Farmville; Mark Allen Niederbrock, age 50, of Farmville; Emma Niederbrock, age 16, of Farmville; and Melanie Grace Wells, age 18, of Inwood, West Virginia. Preliminary results of the autopsies indicate that the causes of death were blunt force trauma to the head. Additional homicide charges are anticipated against Richard Samuel Alden McCroskey III.
On Thursday the 24th, memorial services are held for Mark Niederbrock. Memorial services are held for Melanie Wells the next day. Memorial services are to be held October the 3rd for Dr. Deborah Kelly and Emma Niederbrock.
This story is going to be with us for a very long time, and we're going to do the best we can to continue covering it as professionally as we can.
Thank you for watching this special edition of The Rotunda Show. Please continue to check therotundaonline.com for future episodes. I'm Paul Elder.